Okay, so let's talk about Mara stock and let's talk about Bitcoin because with Bitcoin, there's a potential for volume to be weakening and cause us to go into a correction that I've been highlighting for the last few days. And then with Mara stock, we have a really, really good opportunity to take profit if you guys weren't accumulating within this area. It might be a little bit too late, but please remember everything I say in this video is just my own personal opinion. It is not me telling you what to do. So please do your own due diligence and your own research and trade based on your own risk management. But what we have here is if you guys remember for a bit now since July, we caught a top, which is a take profit area for this accumulation opportunity we had here. We had two accumulation opportunities. It went straight up into this take profit extension, which I highlighted before it even got there. You guys have been following. Hopefully, you guys took advantage of that. And we had another opportunity for long. So if you guys remember, I kept saying and I kept stressing, we can trade within this red accumulation area. it's it's the same as this. Everything's the same. And then I kept saying, okay, we can accumulate within this area. We can wait for the breakout to the upside with this swing low at 1343 roughly being a breaking point for this bigger picture uptrend that's been forming right here. And if that breaks, then we're invalidating the uptrend. But until that happens, if that doesn't happen, it doesn't trigger any SLs. The idea is that we can go up higher. Now, with that being said, I kept saying that hey, we took advantage of this accumulation area to also take short-term trading, shorts and longs based off of support and resistance on a sideways consolidation channel sort of structure, and it's been amazing. It's been amazing. But now we had a sustained break of structure higher, breaking into this short term resistance area, which also overlaps very nicely with the value gap we have right here. I've been saying previously we can see a price potentially go up to 18 to $19 before we see some strong resistance, mainly due to the overlapping area, the overlapping nature of these two resistance areas. And we did. We broke up into this area, allowing the price to maximize it, and we hit it. Like it was an amazing going from accumulation up to resistance, right? So if you guys accumulated right here, hopefully you took advantage of locking in some profits. But right now, what we're looking at is the potential for now. This is how I am going to be looking at this through my own risk management sort of view, right? So I'm going to change the color so it's a little bit easier to look at, or at least a little bit easier to understand. So what we have right here is this lavender color is the potential for a higher low that can lead the price to break the swing high and go up to break over $20 and then trade within this area for a bit, right? So the idea here is that okay, we can continue to go up higher, but we're so overextended in the short term, and it's representing that on the R side on this 1 hour time frame for the candles. So basically, what I'm looking at is for this move to be factored in. Now we have some consolidation right here, some which is in line very well with the support area. The idea here is that as long as we hold above the 16.36 cent, $16.36 line, as long as we come down, we can bounce right off of it. We can go from here, but the idea is that the price ideally would like to enter within this area, trade around $17, even break into the 16s briefly, and hold a higher low and go up higher. Now, here's the thing, right? So we have this ascending support line also supporting this zone between 1636 and 1760. So what we're looking for is not to buy in like crazy. I am not going to be going in like crazy here because it's very possible for if the price goes ahead and corrects itself down into this area, it's very possible for it to let's just say so right now this top at the moment, let's say it comes all the way down to a few cents under 17, it can bounce off of this short-term resistance, come down, and potentially break support and go down lower. So that's why it's so important to focus on position sizing until the price shows more strength. It still provides a short-term long opportunity, like within this area, and to sell in short-term resistance in case it can't push any higher. But regardless, accumulation and this sell point I mentioned was beautiful, very beautiful. But if this support breaks, which is also very possible because at this point, if because we're if we look at Bitcoin real quick, and I'm going to get into more detail on Bitcoin in a moment, but we are in short-term resistance, and it's very possible that Bitcoin can come down into this support area, which I will move to the right a little bit. We're actually going to remove the red one. It was invalidated with this push higher, further within resistance. So I'm going to get into that in a moment. But this, if Bitcoin comes down and starts trading around 113, even 112K before it goes up higher, this can amplify in Mara stock. So this can easily push it down into the support area or even break below it a little bit. But the point here is that this is an opportunity to accumulate small longs with SL, wherever you want to say your SL is at. For me, it'll be like $16, just because at $16 or even 16.20, it would break back into the sideways channel, and we can potentially come down into the 14s briefly, where we have previous support, and there can be a lot of buying pressure there. But it depends how aggressively Bitcoin wants to come down into that correction. If it does, but the idea here is that we went into this short-term resistance area to lock in profit, reduce position to reduce risk, and reward ourselves. And then now we're looking for this, because it's a move up, right? This move up is so aggressive. As easily as money flew into this, money can flow out of it. Being extremely optimistic with a stock like this, where it can easily see a move completely get like balanced out very, very quickly. We've seen this happen so many times. People that are too greedy with Mara stock tend to get hurt, in my opinion. So as of right now, we have short-term, a new opportunity to open short-term longs here. If we get bullish confirmation breaking over short-term resistance, which I will give you guys, when the price comes down into this area. Um, if we break over that, then we can add more because we have bullish confirmation basically at that point, and it will be very easy for the price to break the swing high. But until we do that, short-term resistance will be a good idea to pay attention to that as a way to lock in some profit. But until then, as of right now, it's very likely that the price can come down um, within this short-term support area, which can allow it to have a higher low supporting this ascending support line. And then we can see how healthy the structure is at the time to then, potentially go up into this little bit of a bigger picture resistance for this overall uptrend. So congrats if you guys took advantage of the accumulation area. Worked out very nicely. So now with Bitcoin, talking about Mara potentially amplifying any weakness in Bitcoin. So if you guys remember, because I'm gonna zoom out and I'm gonna show you guys a bigger picture. I'm just gonna move this to the right so we can have a better. It's just easier to look at. Have a better understanding of the chart. So here on the bigger picture view, right? We topped out not that long ago, like in early August or halfway through August. We topped out basically 124K, and we started coming down. Now, with Bitcoin, and I actually closed out an IBIT position. I'll show it like in tomorrow's video because I probably should have showed it earlier, but I closed it out a little bit over 280 profit. I closed it out because we broke the 1.236 at 117.5K. The risk of us having a a correction to allow the price to go up higher, it's very high at this point. Um, it's just there's no reason for me to be greedy at the moment. So here's the thing, right? We started downtrending, and now we're just having we never had a overall like really good correction for this downtrend. We finally have it now. Now, if the FOMC yesterday was very bullish, I mean, we would have probably been over 120K already. But it was positive. A lot of that, pretty much everything was already factored into the price, in my opinion. So it's very fair to at least see a correction now before we go up higher, with optimism building up potentially in the background. but we are downtrending. All we're seeing right now is just an overall move up. I mean, if you guys notice too, the original resistance area for just a bullish correction within this downtrend is at 117.9k, and the price reached the top of the 0.618 perfectly. Like it just perfectly, and it found resistance there. Now it can easily extend higher, just because this extension area shows that with the previous fluctuations we had, we can go higher. It's absolutely possible, but we already maxed out this area perfectly. The RSI has not overexhausted itself to the downside yet within any of these dips right here. None of these dips, and we are within that median area with within the extension. So with that being said, I just have no reason to be overly exposed to Bitcoin in the short term when it comes to longs. So what I'm looking for right now, and there's a few ways I am going to be accumulating new longs. So I'm going to show you guys right now. We have short term support, which we did hit, and is trying to hold it, but it's very likely it can go further into it to try to hit that 120 moving average. That's where I want to begin accumulating new longs, but I'm gonna be very, very light because we're still pretty high. The overall support area for this move up from the accumulation zones. Remember, I've been accumulating during this area. We accumulating and we went up into resistance represented in blue today. Uh, there's no reason I locked in profit. It was last week or earlier this week. I think it was earlier this week. I don't remember. I locked in some profit with IBIT and I opened up a new trade just because it was likely that we can extend within this blue area a little bit more. We did, so I closed out of it earlier today before we came down. And again, I'll show you guys the sell order for that tomorrow. But this is gonna be short term because we can still extend higher. If we can trend down into this area tomorrow, I'll open up a new position, light position. I'm not gonna be aggressive with it because I would like to conserve capital and grow that position more significantly. If you can come down into this overall support area from the low to the high, right here, and this will create a much bigger opportunity to buy at short-term attractive prices. We have a nice imbalance right here, value gap that has not really been filled. We haven't seen any candles close within the price range of this, which is it's gonna be around 113k, which is nicely within this area. So ideally, I mean, we can extend higher. If we just extend higher from here, I will not buy. In the short term, Bitcoin is a bit over exhausted. It can easily go up, but I would rather miss out on more upside than to participate in it when the chart's telling me that, like, hey, it's the likelihood of a correction right now is highly probable. So I'm looking to see if we can trend within this area. Tomorrow I'll start accumulating, and then over the weekend leading into next trading week, if we can see the price come lower within this area, then I will be very much interested in accumulating a bit more aggressively. As of right now, though, it's very likely because we extended very nicely to maximize this 0.618 line. So it's very likely that the purple area has been invalidated, and now we're just looking for a nice correction. I want to start buying in early. If it can come down, I want to accumulate early and then continue to accumulate within this range. So 111.3 to 114.2k for a nice higher low, a healthy higher low. It won't be short. It won't be like shallow. It won't be short lived. If we can come down into this area, it'll be very, very nice to see a price recovery up higher from there. We have value gaps up here in green that have not been filled yet. So with that being said, any weakness now, I would like to accumulate new longs. Ideally, into the 116Ks to begin, and then if the price allows itself to come down into the support line or support area, I would like to accumulate much more and actually be more aggressive within this area. At this point, we do have nice bullish momentum, but just like in every move higher, we see nice corrective moves to allow the price to go higher more sustainably, and that's what I'm mostly attracted towards. So again, if the price just continues higher and tries to maximize this blue area, I'm not interested in buying. Like I said, I would rather miss out on more upside because unless I have a nice setup to really want to get in, um, I have no reason to actually do it. I don't force trades. That's something that I've grown out of. I would rather wait for the setup to present itself nicely, and then from there we will continue forward, right? And as of right now, and this is not very significant, but just based off of this move, like it is finding short term support, right? But that's not very significant. It's super. It's just a lot of noise in the short term. That's why I focus on bigger picture trends, and I base most of my fib structures based on bigger picture. Um, but yeah, volume does seem to be weakening. It's likely will come down, but I'll keep you guys updated, and I'll keep you guys updated as well on any new positions I take in the future. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed and take care.